Hello, everyone. What is up? Swayne here, and today we're going to be talking about something that I have been seeing a lot of questions and stuff about on the game forums online and stuff like that. And that question is, all right, I'm a free-to-play player. How do I maximize my crystals? Okay, how do I spend my crystals in the best way possible to not waste them, or stuff like that? Like, how can I get the most bang for my buck using these things? Okay, because I'm not spending a bunch of money on these packs and stuff like that. Like, I don't have $100 to spend on the legendary package, and I think either I don't have it or I don't want to, or there's all sorts of reasons. It doesn't matter what the reason is, but the end result is I'm not going to spend the money. Okay, but I still want to be successful in the game, and I still want to have a great time. So how can I utilize these crystal resources to the fullest amount? That is what we're going to be talking about today, folks. Okay? It's a great topic. It's a great question, And until I really started thinking about it, I wasn't really sure how to answer it myself. However, after a lot of digging, thinking, and researching, I have come up with a list of the best ways to, spend your crystals as a free-to-play player, okay? But first, we're going to talk about all the ways that you can earn crystals for free within this game. First off, we've got the crystal mine, okay? You get 1 crystal every 10 hours. This is accessible from the very beginning of the game. Make sure that you collect these crystals, every time that they come up, because otherwise it only stores 3, and after that it just doesn't do anything, so use that. The Crystal Titan is almost exactly the same as the crystal mine, except it generates 1 crystal every 8 hours instead of every 10. You get crystals by defeating the arena rivals, okay? There's 9 of these rivals, and all of them give +2 crystals for defeating them, with the exception of Kellyan and Kian, okay? They give you 3 crystals. Definitely fight these guys every time they come up, okay? Very important. The arena weekly reward, okay? This gives you lots of crystals, really, okay? So as you can see, I'm Conqueror 2 rank right now, so I will be getting 200 crystals if I finish out the week like this. Okay, most players are going to be getting somewhere in between 50 crystals and 150 crystals, okay? So Fighter 1 to Fighter 3. However, it does go all the way up to 750 crystals if you're the #1 player in the game, and if you are the worst player in the game, you still get 5 crystals. So that's pretty cool. Tower of Ascension. This is one of the absolute best places to get crystals. Why? Because you get 400 crystals by completing up to floor 40. I'm sorry, not floor 40. If you can beat stage 80, you get 400 crystals, and every 5 floors, every 5, like floor 95, floor 85, floor 75, and so on and such what, okay? Those will give you crystals as well. And in total, Tower of Ascension gives you over 600 crystals. I think it's getting close to 700 crystals just for completing all the way up to floor 95. And of course, there's all the other great rewards that Tower of Ascension gives you, so nothing wrong with that. The Temple of Wishes, okay? You can use a wish, and you actually, get to spin this little wheel thing, all right? And sometimes it'll land on these crystal spots, okay? And so that is a great way to get free crystals, because you get a free wish every single day. So why not use it? When you're playing scenario maps, either any of these scenario maps or doing Kairos Dungeon, okay, farming dragons, giants, Hall of Magic, any of those things, okay. Every once in a while, random crystal drops will drop from a monster, so it can be mana or energy or sometimes crystal, okay. So not a very significant source of crystals, but it is a way to get free crystals just by playing the game. And lastly, within the cash shop, inside of the shop, there is this way to get free mana crystals, as you can see in the middle of the screen here. So let's click on that, and what you can do is download these games. These are all free games, and by downloading the game, launching the game, and playing it just for a couple seconds, okay, you don't even need to launch into a whole thing. You just need to open it up and actually have it open. Will send you this amount of crystals, so 12, 12, 5, 5. I've seen up to 72 crystals for downloading one of these games before. And then you can just uninstall the game, get it off of your device, and then boom, free crystals, all right? So that's a cool source of crystals as well. I highly, highly, highly recommend using all of the methods that I just said to get as many crystals as you can, as frequently as you can, without spending any money, okay? And while these methods do not seem like it's a massive, boost in your crystal production, it doesn't need to, because it adds up over time. And as a free-to-play player, one of the main things that you need to learn is to have patience and be calm and collected with how you do things, okay? And as long as you have patience, okay, these methods will give you lots and lots and lots of crystals without needing to pay a single cent on the game, okay? Cool stuff, all right? So now let's talk briefly about some of the things that you can use them on. I'm not going to go super in-depth on this because I'm sure you guys know all the different ways that you can use crystals, all right? The first way that everyone knows, of course, is mystic summons, okay? Also known as crystal summons by the community, okay? So many people use crystals to summon monsters. And likewise, okay, if you go into the special tab, these premium packs are super, super popular, and some people will even buy these summoner packs, okay? So those are probably the single thing, like if there was like a diagram that showed what players use their crystals on, I can pretty much guarantee you that that would be the number one thing is monster summons, okay? Premium pack purchases, stuff like that. That is what most players will spend their crystals on, okay? We're going to talk about that a little bit more later, okay? The other really, popular ways to use your crystals are, again, going to the cash shop, the recharge energy, so energy refill, arena invitation refills are very popular, okay? The Exp Booster packs are very popular, all right? The Crystal Giant, okay? Very, very popular. 300 crystals to get him. Highly, highly, highly recommend you get that, okay? Again, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Crystal Lake, Gusty Cliffs, those give you XP. In the Magic Shop, you can refresh your list, okay, by spending 3 crystals. And actually, in order to unlock every slot within the Magic Shop, you have to spend some crystals to do that as well, okay? So those are some of the most popular ways to use your crystals. And so now let's get right into just what is the best way? What are the best ways to use your crystals? Because there are so many doggone ways to use your crystals, it's really easy to waste them. So I have a list of 6 things here that I'm going to talk about. And so let's dive right in. Okay. The first and most important thing, in my opinion, to spend your crystals on is the Crystal Titan, okay? If you're very first starting out, okay, save up your crystals and make this be your very first thing that you spend any crystals on. Don't worry about monster summons or anything like that. I'm going to talk about that, why you shouldn't need to worry about monster summons, okay? Crystal Titan needs to be the very first thing that you buy because it gives you free crystals. And eventually, okay, it takes 24 hours, okay, to get 3 crystals, all right? And then, so then let's think about that a little bit. So that takes 240 hours to get 30 crystals, okay? So that means it takes 2,400 hours to get 300 crystals, and that will pay itself off, okay? This will pay itself off after 2,400 hours, like real life hours, okay? I can't remember how many days that is, but I think it's definitely a couple of months, okay? It's definitely a couple of months of playing, but most people are going to be playing this game for more than just a couple of months, which is why this is such an important thing to get, okay? And the best thing of all is that all you need to do is log in. You just need to log in and collect it. Simple as that, okay? Super, super, super amazing. So gotta spend crystals on this. But when you spend crystals on this, eventually it will be a return investment. It's kind of like saving. It's kind of like a bank account sort of trust sort of a thing, okay? Crystal Titan is super, super, super important. The next thing that I highly recommend, and I think is the second best thing to use your crystals on, is the 3-day EXP booster, okay? Why? because this is one of the very few things in this entire game that you can't access in any other way. Okay? There is no really other way to get EXP boosters besides through the Comtwist events, which are very rare. I mean, it's not super frequently that there's massive EXP booster stuff. There's like 1 hour of it, maybe, but that's not enough to farm a 6-star monster, okay? So these are extremely important. For 200 crystals, you get three 24-hour days of like double experience, okay? Super, super, super important. I buy these all the time because it speeds up making 6-star monsters. Literally, it cuts it in half, okay? It cuts the time in half. And let me tell you, it takes hours to make a 6-star monster, all right? Even with the double EXP booster. So nobody's got time, really, to do it without it, okay? Super, super, super important. And again, it's not something that you can really access in any other way, okay? So that is the number 2 thing that I think you should be spending your crystals on. The number 3 way to be spending crystals on, recharge energy. You can purchase it with 30 crystals, okay? Recharge energy. What's amazing about energy recharges, okay, is that it gets you basically everything else, right? Okay? Because when you're recharging energy, okay, you get mana, all right, by participating in farming, different dungeons, stuff like that. You get lots of mana, all right? You'll get monster drops. There's all sorts of stuff that you can do just by spending energy, okay? So using 30 crystals to replenish all of your energy is absolutely amazing, okay? It gets you so much of everything, all right? So absolutely be using these energy recharges because you will not regret it. I am telling you right now, you will not regret it at all. And especially when in conjunction with the double EXP boosters, okay? Super, super good, all right? Absolutely phenomenal, okay? Number 4. The number 4 thing that I think that you should be spending your crystals on is in the magic shop, not the refresh, okay? The refresh comes every hour, and unless you get really impatient, just wait the hour. It's not that long, okay? But what you do need to do is purchase every single open slot that you can, okay? The magic shop becomes very important late game because it gives you access to 6-star runes, and even mystical scrolls will get sold in the shop, and every once in a while, you get great stuff, okay? But it's important, really, really important to max out, the slots in your magic shop, okay? Super, super important. The number 5, okay? Premium packs, okay? I do not recommend buying the Summoner's Pack at all. I do not recommend doing any crystal summons at all. But I do recommend this pack. However, it is situational. I'm going to put a disclaimer here. These packs are entirely situational, all right? Because, unless you have a lot of spare crystals, like I'm talking you have over 1,000 crystals saved up, I would not recommend getting one of these because the energy refills and the EXP boosters are, in my opinion, much more valuable than a premium pack, okay? 750 crystals worth of energy refills will get you more 6-star runes from Dragon B10 and, Giants B10 than you will even know what to do with, okay? That might be an exaggeration, but you get my point, okay? You get so many more resources for the amount of crystals that you get if you're doing energy refills rather than these. That being said, okay, if you're going to be spending crystals on monster summons, which eventually does become necessary, okay? It eventually will become necessary. This is the way to go, okay? Premium packs are the way to go because for the cost of 10, crystal summons, you're actually getting 11 scrolls, okay? And you're getting Angelmons, not Angelmons, I'm sorry. And you're getting Angelmons, okay? So, if you're going to do it, this is the way to go, all right? And lastly, the final thing that I think is important to be spending crystals on, and again, this last one is also very situational, okay, is the arena invitation refills, okay? Now, this does not apply to anyone under Conqueror rank. Okay? If you cannot consistently get to Conqueror rank or higher, do not, I repeat, do not spend any crystals on Arena Invitation refills, okay? But if you are a Conqueror 1 player or higher, sometimes these Arena Invitation refills are necessary, and in fact, almost all the time they are necessary to be able to get high enough in the arena ranking that where you want to be, okay? And by spending 30 crystals, okay, to bump up your ranking from Conqueror, 1 to Conqueror 2, or Conqueror 2 to Conqueror 3, or, anything like that, will give you a net 20 crystals because you're spending 30 and getting an additional 50, Or once you get up to Guardian ranks, you'll spend 30 and you'll get an additional 100. So you're getting a net 70 crystals from that, okay? So that's important. So those can be really good. But I don't suggest using this unless it's in the arena rush hour. So the hour before the arena closes is basically the only time that I would ever recommend getting an arena invitation refill. However, it is an option, and it isn't a bad thing to be spending your your crystals on. Okay, so those are the 6 things that you really, if you're a free-to-play player, should be thinking about as you're spending your crystals. Okay, everything else that I've mentioned and anything else, basically, okay, that I didn't mention that you could be spending crystals on, in my opinion, are the wrong things to be spending your crystals on. Okay, why? We're going to be talking about that now, okay? Why not be spending all your crystals on monster summons, and why not use your crystals on mana and things like that? Well, we're going to get into that here in this next section. So let's dive in and take a look. As I mentioned before, the main thing that people tend to use crystals on are monster summons, okay? Now, you'll also notice that I ranked premium packs as the number 5 thing to be spending crystals on. Now, a lot of you, I'm sure, are shaking your heads thinking, what the heck are you thinking, Swayne? That's like the best thing to spend crystals on. Well, hold on. I want to challenge that line of thinking just a little bit, okay? And I'll explain this, all right? So, first of all, there are a lot of ways that you can actually get scrolls outside of purchasing premium packs with crystals, okay? Now, the first and probably best way to do this, okay, is through Tower of Ascension, okay, which we've already talked about a little bit, all right? Just from completing Tower of Ascension, let's go and check it out, okay? Let's go to the reward info, all right? In total, you get 1 legendary scroll, 1 light and dark scroll, okay, a Devilmon, a 4-star Angelmon, 2 mystic scrolls, another mystic scroll, another 3-star Rainbow Mon, and a summoning stone for every stage, minus the boss stage and the 5th stage that gives you crystals. So that gives you 80 summoning stones. Okay. So, that's a legendary scroll, light and dark scroll, 3 mystical scrolls, and 80 summoning stones. Okay. That's pretty good. That's all free every single month. Okay. Utilize that, because that gives you monsters right there. And it's a legendary scroll, for goodness sake. So do Tower of Ascension. You'll get monsters just from doing that. Arena, okay? Guild points. All right, let's take a look at this. Okay, you can go into the guild shop. I'm sorry. Okay, you can go into the guild shop. And look, if you really wanted to, you can buy scrolls using glory points, okay? You can. If you want to, you can do that. I don't suggest that necessarily, but it's possible, okay? Again, guild shop. Let's take a look at the guild shop. Look at that. Very similar looking, all those scrolls, okay? But in addition, you can also get summoning stones, okay? And then these almighty scroll pieces for, Hall of Heroes monsters and stuff like that. Legendary summoning pieces, okay? You can fuse basically a legendary scroll, okay? And the Ifrit summoning pieces. These are amazing. Absolutely amazing. Free natural 5-star. 3 of them. You can get 3 free natural 5-stars just by participating in Guild Wars, okay? That's better than scrolls, okay? 3 natural 5-stars. And all of them are pretty good, all right? What else? There's mystical scroll drops from the higher level dungeons and even the lower level dungeons. You'll get some every once in a while, okay? The daily login bonus. You get 1 Mystic Scroll and 1 Light and Dark Scroll every single month from that. And you get tons of summoning stones, okay, from, you know, I'm sorry, let me get here. Okay. And you get tons of summoning stones, of course, for participating in your guild log, okay? So, see, the weekly reward, all right? If you're a Guardian level guild, you get 2,500 summoning stones that get split amongst the players, okay? That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Like, I every week end up getting, you know, somewhere between 150 summoning stones and 200 summoning stones, okay? Which is awesome. What is happening? Network connection delayed, okay? Super great. Phenomenal. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, as you can see, Comtwist has given us a lot of ways to get monsters without needing to even buy premium packs, okay? So again, unless you're getting extremely impatient, I would highly recommend saving those crystals for things like, you know, energy refills, for farming Dragons B10, for farming Giants B10, for farming EXP, for monsters, to be able to make your monsters into 6-star monsters, okay? You know, stuff like that. Those, in my opinion, are much, much, much better ways of using your crystals, because monsters are very easily accessible, okay? Are you going to be getting as many as you maybe want? No. But even, you know, even players who pay lots of money still want to summon more. Okay? It's not a craving that's going to end, so you just be aware of that, okay? And use your crystals wisely in those 6 ways that I talked about, okay? Hopefully, all right, that gives you guys a good idea of what you should be spending your crystals on and what you should not be spending your crystals on, okay? There are so many ways to be spending your crystals, and so that's kind of my take on how you really should be spending them. Some of you may disagree with me, and that's totally cool. That's totally fine. If you'd like to have a discussion about some of this, please comment down below, and I will make sure to get back to you with any questions or comments that you have. And yeah, hopefully if you have any of those questions or anything, I can answer them as best as I can. And yeah, so great, guys. I will talk to you all later. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your guys' support means seriously so much to me. So thank you for all of you guys who are watching these videos, and I will talk to you guys later. Swayne out.